welcome to Grimsby for week 10 of the PartyPoker.com Snooker Premier League. We're live, as always, on Sky Sports HD3. Tonight's lineup looks exactly like this, and what a lineup. Shaun Murphy against Judd Trump, and our second semi-final sees the Rocket, Ronnie O'Sullivan, against Jimmy White, and obviously a bit later on tonight we will have a final. Hello, good to see you. As always, 3 players have qualified for finals weekend. 1 place remains, and that place will be decided. But Willie Thorne, it's still anyone's from 3. 3 players can qualify for finals weekend. Ronnie O'Sullivan, Neil Robertson and Shaun Murphy. Difficult to call.
Yeah, the 2 outside ones are obviously Murphy and Robertson, the fact that they've got it all to do and they've got to have the results go their way. But Ronnie's got it in his own hands tonight. He only has to win a couple of frames, and so Ronnie's strong favourite out of the 3.
It is. Let's have a of the league table. Remember, 10 players that are featuring in this year's Premier League, and it is the top 4 that go through to finals weekend, which is incidentally at the end of this month. Ding has already qualified, as has Judd Trump and Mark Williams. Ronnie O'Sullivan currently in 4th spot. Remember, he's defending champion, but Shaun Murphy in 9th place can still get there, along with Neil Robertson. This is what needs to happen tonight. Now, Ronnie O'Sullivan can get a maximum of 18 points. He needs to win 2 frames tonight. If he does win those 2, he qualifies regardless of any other events happening on the snooker table. If Murphy loses his semi-final, Ronnie would need just 1 frame to qualify for finals weekend. Shaun Murphy, if he wants to get there, the most he can get is 13 points. He needs to win both his matches, and he's got to hope that Ronnie O'Sullivan loses in his semi-final 3-0. And let's not forget Neil Robertson. The most he can get is 12 points. That could take him through if Murphy loses his semi-final, and again Ronnie O'Sullivan loses his one 3-0. I will obviously be taking notes a bit later to see which one of our 900 plus studio crowd here actually know what's going on.
Absolutely.
I'm thinking to myself, you know, it's so difficult to work out. How do the players focus for a game like that, Willie? Do they go into a game needing, if I just get the first frame, then I'm halfway there and I need just... Or do you just play a game and see what happens?
I think, in fairness, it's probably to Ronnie's disadvantage, really, the fact that he knows he hasn't got to win the game. Normally you go into a match knowing you've got to win it. O'Sullivan playing first, Murphy playing first against Judd Trump, knows what he's got to do. Ronnie O'Sullivan, when you know you've only got to win 1 or 2 frames, you could go into it a little bit negative, really. So it'd be interesting to see, but I think we have to see what happens on the first match and then we'll know better.
Yeah, we have got... I mean, let's obviously not forget our first match, Murphy against Trump, wonderful game. The second match, the Rocket, Ronnie O'Sullivan, defending champion, against Jimmy White. I just mentioned earlier, we've got 900 people in this building watching this game of snooker. You get that for the final at the Embassy, don't you?
Exactly. It's always been a hotbed of snooker, though, Grimsby. Over the years, I've had some wonderful players, and I know the league snooker here is very, very strong. They've obviously had Mike Hallett, Dean Reynolds, Ray Edmonds, a lot of top players, and it's always been very, very interesting when we come to Grimsby. We played lots of tournaments here years ago.
Let's have a look at the match odds for tonight's 2 wonderful semi-finals. Then we'll get Willie's view on who he thinks would do what. Murphy against Trump. Trump odds-on favourite 6-4, and Murphy 6-5 against. O'Sullivan 7-1 on against the Whirlwinds, 9-2, 4.5-1. Now I know you like a bet, Willie.
So
any value in 4.5? The Whirlwind, one of the game's greatest ever players, 9-2.
That is too big. I mean, regardless. I mean, if you're playing over the best of 11, okay, that might be the odds with Ronnie O'Sullivan and Jimmy White. But you're playing 6 frames of snooker here. Jimmy White can beat anybody in the world on his day. Okay, he's coming towards the end of his career, but on his day, Jimmy's still very, very powerful. And
potentially, we do have possibly a repeat of a final that we had in Belgium at the weekend, which I think, personally, I don't know what your view is, the best of 7 match I've ever seen. Judd won it 4-3. The first 6 frames happened in 60 minutes. Ronnie, 2 back-to-back centuries. We could see that kind of snooker tonight.
I think the beauty was we were always looking for the next superstar, weren't we? I mean, obviously Judd proved that at Sheffield. He was possibly going to be the next superstar. I think now he has proved he's here to stay. I'm really excited about what Judd Trump can do in the game over the next couple of years.
OK, well, I know you're due to have your moustache trimmed a bit, so I'll let you get back into the commentary box. Time to meet the players, and first up is the wonderful Judd Trump. I remembered. Hey, Judd, always a pleasure to see you. A nice situation you're in tonight because you're through to finals weekend. How dangerous is it to play a Judd Trump that's more relaxed than normal?
It's a lot easier, I think.
What, for you or for them?
For them.
Why is it?
Because I'm not very good.
Well, you say you're not very good. I was just talking to Willie there, I don't know if you heard it, I don't know where you were, about the final. I must congratulate you on the PTC you won at the weekend in Belgium. It was, for my money, one of the best performances I've seen by both players in a final.
Yeah, it was a good game. It was a good turnout. So normally when the crowds are bigger, the players perform better. So hopefully tonight will be the same.
And you won a huge trophy as well. It was about sort of so big. How do you get a trophy like that back from Belgium?
I ain't got a boot in my car, so I left it there in the car park.
That's what happens when you buy an £80,000 sports car. The boot's just not big enough. I'm really looking forward to the semi-final. Do you have an eye on the final? Do you think I could possibly meet Ronnie again?
Not really. I know Sean's needs to win tonight, so I know he'll be ready to come out and play well. So the first match is going to be tough.
And I suppose the incentive for you is not only are you there at the semi-finals weekend, that if you win tonight, you top the group as well. Remember, it's first v fourth and second v third.
Yeah, it's always nice to win on the night, and it's going to be a tough game whoever I play next week. So obviously, I just want to continue playing well and take my form into next week. All the best, Judd Trump, everyone. Good luck, Judd. Judd's opponent is Shaun Murphy.
Go, shawty, it's your birthday. We gon' party like it's your birthday. We gon' sip a party like it's your birthday. And you know we don't give up, it's not your birthday. Go find me in the club, bottle full of bub. Mama, I got what you need if you need to fill a buzz. I'm into having sex, I ain't in the...
It's such an old cliche, I know, but you genuinely do have to take just one match at a time, don't you?
It's very, very simple, isn't it? Very simple for me. But, you know, to be fair, I've only myself to blame. I had the same chance as everyone else from the start, and just a couple of results here and there would have seen it different.
Is there anything is there a reason why you're in this situation? Obviously, you haven't won as much as you should have done, but what I mean by that is the format has changed this year to last year.
I don't think so. Snooker's still the same, isn't it? Score more points than the other fella. You know, I haven't played badly this year at all in the league. I've been pleased with nearly every match I've played. But, you know, I've missed a couple of balls here and there, and the standard of our game's now such that if you do just miss that little opportunity, that's you finished.
Your opponent tonight, Judd Trump, got beat in the World Championship final this year. How good can he get? I mean, you're an ex-world champion yourself. You know what it's like to be #1 in the world. How far can he go?
Well, in my early pro years, you know, they were all talking about Judd as when he was the best junior, and he's been coming for a long, long time. You know, it's no surprise to anyone in the game of snooker that he's here now, winning and playing so well. How far can he go? I don't know, but he's incredibly gifted. He's great to watch, and he's the future.
Is it a good night to play him when he doesn't really need a victory?
I'm not sure any good night's a good night to play him.
It's a fair point. Best of luck, Shaun Murphy, everyone. Thanks, Shaun. Your boys in the box for this one are the wonderful Willie Thorne and the equally magnificent Phil Yates.
Thanks, Andy. Grimsby, a regular port of call for the Premier League, and as usual, the auditorium is packed out. The four great players, super crowd, plenty of entertainment coming up. Just to put my two pennyworth into that discussion about the Antwerp Open final on Sunday, Murphy against Trump, by all accounts, from very knowledgeable observers, Andy's right, perhaps the greatest best of 7 frame match of all time, and Trump contributed greatly.
Yeah, that's the kind of shot we've always known about Judd Trump, undoubtedly, since he was a 14-year-old. Those kind of pots were bread and butter to him. But what he has done now, and why he's proved to be a game's great player now and capable of winning any tournament, is learned how to win messy. You know, it's all right potting all the balls, you're always going to win, but you've got to win those scrappy frames. And going back to the World Championship final when he played against John Higgins, I'm thinking over 33 frames, Phil, there's going to be 6 or 7 scrappy frames. Could he win any of those scrappy frames last year? And I thought not. So I thought, well, if he's going to be world champion, he's got to give Higgins 6-frame start. Great pot from Shaun Murphy there. And now I think he's developed a way of playing where he can win the scrappy frames, and that's what makes him now a player that can win any tournament he plays in.
It's win or bust for Shaun Murphy in this match.
Shaun very, very good at this kind of shot. You've got to miss the red just directly above the black. You've got to screw and make the ball arc round that red, and then you've got a better chance of screwing into them. There you see, he just caught it first, and that's the reason the white's finished there. If he'd have missed the first red in playing the screw shot, we might get a chance to show you this again. He has to miss that first red. You see, he just caught it very, very thin, and hence the whites came back into the quarter pocket there, which is no good. So an early opportunity missed, and not the best safety shot he's ever played.
On his last tournament outing over there in Belgium in the Antwerp Open, Murphy was beaten in the first round by Michael Holt, and he missed an awful lot of balls. Thought for a moment he might have fluked one. Now this is the kind of mid-range pot that when Shaun Murphy's cueing well, okay, it's near the pocket, but he needs some power, and he's generated it easily.
Even though the reds are spread quite nicely, he's going to have to go into that middle red of the 3 there, because they're all in the way of one another. And once again, he didn't get the kiss right. He needed to hit the middle one on its own there, but he caught the one on the left-hand side of the 3. If he'd have hit the middle one, it'd have been on 2 reds into each corner pocket. Not settled yet. So that's 2 chances he's had.
Murphy 8.
And we must bear in mind, Willie, that Shaun Murphy over the last couple of years has been the Premier League champion in 2009 and then the runner-up last season.
Yeah, you'd have to say that obviously this format suits O'Sullivan, but it certainly suits Shaun. And he did mention that he's only got himself to blame. A couple of matches I know that he's been the loser by 4 frames to 2. He certainly should have drawn one of those at least. And a couple of matches he has drawn, he should have won. So, you know, he'd be disappointed not to have got to the finals in Hopton-on-Sea in a couple of weeks' time. Great pot, probably deserved a kiss. But this is very thin. He might not even take it on. A full wall kiss, he would have definitely took it on, but not now.
Shaun Murphy 1.
Murphy knows, though, you're never in the semi-finals until the last ball goes in.
Time
you
extension.
might remember, as Judd Trump takes his time extension, you might remember, Willie, a Premier League season, the last qualifying night at Cardiff, Shaun Murphy went there needing to win just 2 of 6 frames, ended up being beaten 5-1 by Ronnie O'Sullivan, which allowed Steve Davis to make the playoffs.
Yeah, that's why I was suggesting at the top of the show. What a great effort that is.
Foul.
It'd have to be a miss.
Shaun Murphy 4. Back.
That's why I was suggesting that it could be a different mindset for Ronnie O'Sullivan tonight. The fact that he hasn't got to win the game, you can sometimes be a little bit too relaxed, as I'm sure Shaun was at that time up in Cardiff. Okay. The reason it's called a miss, of course, you've got to. I mean, it's so easy to hit the red on the side cushion, but he doesn't want to leave the white there, so he's playing 2 cushions. He's got the weight right this time. I think unless he goes round the back, he's got the shot right. That's an excellent shot. Well played. It's my late brother who passed away in January. I was always a big fan of Judd Trump. He used to come down to Leicester and play in all the junior tournaments, and as a 14-year-old, Malcolm kept saying, you just watch this lad. And I've been a little bit disappointed until this last 2 years why it's took him so long. But I'm really impressed now. Okay, he just missed them now and again, but he's now the real deal, and I think he's our next superstar.
And a nice lad as well. No edge about him whatsoever.
And likes to Twitter, doesn't he? He's got many thousands of followers on Twitter. He'll probably be twittering at the interval in this match.
Shaun Murphy is one of the busiest snooker players on the professional circuit. Plays in virtually every tournament he can possibly go to. And apart from that, he also had a rather unusual exhibition on his schedule at the start of this month. He played an exhibition in front of 200 prisoners at Loudham Grange Prison in Nottinghamshire. Snooker's Johnny Cash.
Yes, I must admit, Jimmy White and myself did one at Preston when I was still playing 15 odd years ago, and they obviously do love their snooker.
16.
This is Shaun's third chance
17.
in this frame, and he'll be very disappointed he doesn't close the frame out here. So Shaun Murphy knows he's got to win, and even though it's taken him 3 tries, it's the start he wanted.
$22. $23.
One other issue we haven't talked about this evening, Willie, is the fact that the semi-final lineup will be determined by who finishes first,
30.
second, third and fourth in the group. So number 1 plays 4, number 2 plays 3. So we'll know who's coming up against each other a little later.
31.
Are 2 and 3 already guaranteed at the moment, are they?
But the positions aren't, so all of the top 4 places at the moment are fluid.
He's not got the tail at all at the moment, Shaun. He's overhit that by 6 or 7
38.
inches. 66 in front, so this is virtually game ball. Having missed a red in the middle that could have cost him earlier on, that red secures the opening frame.
$46.
He can be a little relaxed, Judd Trump, but pride of performance will want him to win this match, and indeed the final.
46 and the frame, Shaun Murphy.
No way back from there, Murphy, 74 in front, 59 on. Judd Trump concedes, Murphy draws first blood. When Shaun Murphy won the World Championship in 2005, he potted them off the lampshades. And that was another example there of just what a deadly potter he can be. 46 break in the first frame, and Shaun Murphy desperately in need of a victory in the semi-final against Judd Trump and in the final later on has made the ideal start.
The second frame, Shaun Murphy to break.
It's been great to see both these players actually come up through the ranks, and as has been said many times, the junior tournaments were all played at my club in Leicester, and you know, both of them have, from 12 years on, were playing at the club virtually every weekend. So I've seen these two young great players improve year by year, and it's just been amazing to watch their performances over the last few years.
And of course the current world number 1, Mark Selby, was a regular in those events as well. It was a fantastic learning opportunity for them, and Malcolm did such wonderful work for junior snooker.
Yeah, thank you very much. Sadly missed, bless him. He was a big fan of Judd Trump. He really was. He used to love watching Judd Trump play, and that young man as well. Obviously Shaun, being that little bit older, had already made it by the time Judd started competing at the professional ranks.
Neither of them, though, Willie, overnight success stories. Murphy on the circuit then dropped off, and it took a while for him to establish himself, and the same with Trump. But now they're established, and you just know they're going to win. Plenty of trophies between them.
Bramble.
This is what makes Shaun such an aggressive player. He always plays the shot to open the frame up. A lot of players there would have played 2 cushions to play for the single red above the black. He knows that you've got to get them open early. He is definitely one of the game's great break builders, and first chance he gets the pink into play. Just needs one good shot now to get onto the black, and he'll be in good position, and that's an excellent shot. Well played. A frame winning opportunity.
And he's a stubborn sort, Shaun Murphy, in a nice way. Coming here tonight, he would have viewed this not as an ordeal, but as a challenge. And I'll tell you what, if he does somehow sneak
13
into the playoffs, watch out at Hopton.
It'd be interesting if Shaun did happen to win this match 3-0. Puts a lot more pressure on Ronnie O'Sullivan in the next match. Once again, could have played for loose reds, but took the opportunity again to go into them. Knowing that any sort of kiss there was almost bound to be on one. That's when you've got to play the cannon. When even if you get a bad kiss, you know you've got a chance of being on one, and playing
20.
it the way he did there was always going to be on a red. You don't necessarily know which red you're going to get on sometimes when you go into the bunch, but it's all about making your own luck sometimes, and that's what Shaun's been doing in this particular break. Not too sure whether he can run through and
27.
kiss the red and hold for the black. He just slightly the wrong angle, so he's just having to stun by the red.
28.
Just from the noise there, I don't think that was the best of contacts, and I'm not surprised that Paul Collier
35.
gave the black a bit of a rub.
36.
Been 13 centuries so far in this Premier League. Highest 140. Certainly a chance of a century
44.
here, but the important thing is he's got to get past the 74 mark to make sure of the frame, because he can't afford any mistakes this evening, Shaun.
There's a financial bonus of £1,000 for the highest break of every evening, and
49.
Shaun Murphy cashed in at Guildford, 115.
50.
As Willie said, the highest break so far is 140. That was by Neil Robertson at Motherwell. He played
57.
superbly that night, the Australian. And if someone had said then he wasn't going to make the playoffs, I would have called him a fool.
58.
But he's missed out now.
Yes, it's really is a high-class field. Obviously, it goes without saying, the only one that's missing really is Mark Selby, but of course he didn't win a tournament last year, and this tournament's all tournament winners. In Mark Selby, undoubtedly
65.
in the top 2 in the world. I think he's he number 1 now at the moment.
He is indeed.
66.
The only way is down from there.
Yes, I'm sure that Mark Selby is doing his level best to win a tournament to get into this league next year.
73.
Well, of course, he's already won the Shanghai Masters, hasn't he, beating Mark Williams
74.
in the final. So I think we're going to see Mark donning Premier League colours in 2012-2013.
Now the frame obviously safe. There's a possible 140 on here if he takes blacks.
81. $82.
So he could join Neil Robertson at the top of the breaks with that 140.
89. 90.
Quite where he wanted. He'd like to get the cue ball where his hand is now to play on that other red, but he's going to have to probably play for the one in the middle. No, he's managed to hit it hard enough to get onto both reds. That's key when you're trying to get a big break. Play for 2 reds rather than 1.
97.
And that's what he's done there, you see. He's on both reds. And now he probably is aware that 140 is the highest break, and he'll be certainly taking
98.
the black off the last red. This break has been wonderful. He went into the pack on 2 occasions very early on in the break, and both times got perfect position.
106.
14th century for Murphy this season in professional competition, 211th in his career. I remember when you joined the Century of Century Club, Willie, down at Preston. Not Preston, it was at Swindon, wasn't it? In the mid-90s, you were very proud. Back then it was a very exclusive club, not so exclusive now.
Oh no, absolutely. There was only about 10 players, I think, had made over 100 centuries, wasn't there? And I haven't played for 15 years, Phil.
118.
A pioneering centurion, Willie Thorne. If my memory serves me correct, you were stuck on 99 for a while.
Kept twitching as normal throughout my career. This is the key shot. He can play it in and out of baulk with right-hand side off 3 cushions, or he can play it off 1 cushion with left-hand side. He's decided... Oh, no! He decided to play the more difficult way. It hasn't worked.
No high break in the tournament, but the main objective has been achieved. Shaun Murphy stylishly 2-0 ahead. Those semi-final hopes remain alive. $197 points to 1. That's the respective points tallies for Shaun Murphy and Judd Trump so far in a one-sided semi-final to start things off here at the Grimsby Auditorium. Welcome back to the PartyPoker.com Premier League. At the final qualifying evening, Shaun Murphy needs to win the whole shebang tonight to have any chance of making the playoffs. So far, so good.
Thank you. Frame 3. Judd Trump to break.
Yes, a little bit of pride in performance now for Judd. He has nothing to prove as he's already there, but he wouldn't want to go away from Grimsby only scoring 1 point in 3 frames. And I think he can get through to this red. And if he can, the black's on. So not a very good break from Judd Trump. Oh, that's flew off the cushion. Oh, goodness me, that was a terrible bounce. That went on the cushion at 10 mile an hour and came off at 20.
Tough to hold. The only good point about that shot, playing it like that, he knew full well that more often than not the black's going to block Trump's attempted red, and that's what it's done.
Delicate little shot. I don't know whether Shaun can see the outside of the pack. If he can't, he's going to have to run into them.
Foul and a miss. Judd Trump 4. Back.
See, it's funny there, Judd accepting the miss, because quite obviously Shaun's going to get this shot right within the next shot or 2. And it was such an easy safety shot there to open the pack and get the cue ball back into baulk. Now, if Shaun plays this properly and virtually finishes touching ball, it's going to be a lot more difficult to get back into the baulk area. As it happens, he's left the 2-cushion escape into baulk. May even play a double. Just got to miss the blue when you're playing this kind of shot. Lots of left-hand side. As long as you miss the blue, you're okay.
Another point we must make, Willie, for Shaun Murphy, forgetting the playoffs for a moment, the prize money in this tournament goes down the list. And Murphy, even if he doesn't make the playoffs, will be much better off financially to finish 5th. So there's lots of incentives.
Yellow ball.
How's your luck? A bigger kiss, he'd have been on the black. He could have played the black in such a way, could have gone into the pack. Usually a player of the class we have on show this evening wouldn't have any trouble in resting onto the bunch somehow. But it looks like he might have to take it off 3 cushions.
Time extension.
Trump used an extension in the first frame when he was in a snooker. It does seem the logical time to take a little extra time.
So he's just trying to swerve and just rest into the pack just below the pink. Could have played it a lot better, but I think he may have left one on. So everything going wrong at the moment for Judd Trump.
And if Murphy can drop on the loose red here at the correct angle, he could split the bunch far and wide.
Yeah, just gone a bit too high, Phil, hasn't he? So he's going to have to do it off the black.
8.
The next shot could be Judd's only chance of getting back to the table, because if he's split nicely, we know he's in great form, having made the 1-2-2 in the previous frame. This is the telling shot. Amazing, isn't it? Amazing. Even these top players can feel the pressure.
Did not leave a pot on. You have to say, Willie, after missing the black, he would have expected to be sitting down for some time.
Doesn't matter how good you are, you've got to have that little bit of luck when you miss them or play a bad safety. Sometimes the baulk colours, you get the kiss. See, like now, as long as you miss the baulk colours, you've got your opponent in trouble. The number of times you play a safety shot like that, hit the brown full ball and leave an easy safety shot on. Big target here for Shaun to swing the cue ball around 3 cushions and get in behind the green.
Foul.
Is it far too thick? Wow.
Judd Trump 4.
That was such an easy safety shot to play.
At the top of the show, Willie, you mentioned one of the Grimsby greats, Ray Edmonds, who won the World Professional Billiards Championship one year. That was a billiard shot.
One.
Yeah, we used to have a lot years ago. There used to be loads of big tournaments, and there were the biggest tournaments outside of the English Amateur, and we used to play all around Grimsby area. And Louth, we used to play a big tournament at Louth Town and Country Club. All the top players at the time, Mountjoy, Virgo, Steve Davis, Dennis, myself, we always used to play in those, and Ray Edmonds was there, and Sid Hood, Dean Reynolds. Grimsby has always been a hotbed for snooker. Probably just about as bigger than anywhere else in the country, really.
Judd Trump 6.
Well, if he went for the pot, you have to say that was probably the worst attempt of the season so far from Trump.
And it just shows you, even though you've got pride in performance, how when the adrenaline's not pumping, what a difference he can make. Judd Trump's hardly missed a ball in the last 2 or 3 tournaments he's played in. All of a sudden tonight, can't put a ball.
Now that Murphy's in amongst them, I must just say one other thing about Grimsby as a snooker hotbed. In 1975, bear in mind this is quite a small town in the scheme of things. In 75, they produced the world amateur champion, snooker this is, Ray Edmonds. They produced the English amateur champion, Sid Hood.
9.
And they produced the British junior champion, Mike Hallett.
Who did Sid Hood beat in the final?
Greenwell.
The not-so-great WT.
Just quickly while Sean's gone, I'd played Sid Hood I think 10 times in my career, beat him 9, and the only time I lost to him was in the biggest tournament of the lot. Which is typical of me, isn't it, really?
13.
Good chance now for Sean, he's 10 points in front, and if he gets on the next red, all those 4 red, well 5 reds are in open play. They're all kind of in the way of one another. There's a gap between the pink and the red that's on the pink spot, where he can get onto that middle red of the 3 down this end of the table. With obviously the one that's right at the top there will pot in the right hand corner. Doesn't look like it from that camera angle, does it? But there you can see from that camera angle, it clearly does. Well, under normal circumstances, this should be good night Vienna.
At the moment, Trump, coming off that inspirational performance in Belgium, has spotted 3 balls.
27.
Murphy spotted 66.
I just wonder whether sorry, easy for me to say. I just wonder whether he would have practiced as much, knowing that he was already in the finals. He may have taken a little bit of a holiday, 2 or 3 days off, just to get ready for the next couple of weeks that are coming up. We've got the Powerball, of course, on the weekend,
34.
and then we've got the UK Championship coming up. Lots of big tournaments. Maybe just taking a bit of time out. I'm sure
35.
after this performance, he wishes he hadn't.
From Murphy's perspective, though, this is a dream scenario.
41.
So does Ronnie have to win 2 now in his match?
The pressure's on.
42.
It's just the kind of finish we wanted to the round-robin phase of the tournament. And not just the permutations, but the personnel as well. O'Sullivan White.
Yes, undoubtedly. Over the years, the 2 great giants of the game as far as crowd pulling is concerned. Jimmy White is 20-odd
50.
years he's been packing auditoriums out all around the world. O'Sullivan has not been playing quite as long, but never an empty seat when O'Sullivan plays and Jimmy White.
Well, Jimmy White turned professional the year before Sean Murphy was born.
57.
This match is
58.
over. Trump's contribution to it, minimal.
How many points?
Well, it's 273 to 15 at the moment.
65.
At a break of 46 in the first frame, 1-2-2 in the second. 66 and counting, and the reason he played for the black there, obviously the black makes 73, a possible century.
And that's the model professional that Sean Murphy is, making a century, even though he's made, what is it now, 211 in professional competition. An extra 1 means something to him.
And that's why Stephen Hendry over the years has been so great, hasn't he? He always wants to clear the table. Well, if you need any sort of confidence boosting, I mean, lost in Antwerp last week to Michael Holt. This is just what the doctor ordered.
Another huge bounce
87.
Off the top cushion. Can he salvage the century? Judd's been well and truly trumped. Sean's been superb. Here in Grimsby tonight, Murphy's Law has applied. 3-0, 308 points to 15, and Shaun Murphy could still make the semi-finals of the PartyPoker.com Premier League Snooker.
Welcome back to Premier League Snooker. I can tell you that Mission Impossible is well and truly underway. Shaun Murphy beating Judd Trump by 3 frames to 0, gets his 3, doesn't drop any, books his place in tonight's final, where he will play either the Rocket Ronnie O'Sullivan, or if Shaun had his way, Jimmy White, without dropping more than 1 frame. That's what he wants, that's what he needs to happen. This is the state of play at the moment. Dean Judd and Mark already there. Ronnie beautifully poised in 4th spot. Remember, if he wins 2 frames tonight, irrelevant of what else happens in his semi-final, which is coming up in just a sec, if he wins 2 frames, he is through to the final. But time to talk to Shaun Murphy, who'll be a very happy and relieved man. Wonderful performance.
I feel like the manager of a Premier League team that's in the relegation zone. It's not really up to me now. What happens, is it? You know, I've gone out there and did my job, and now I just have to wait and see what the other match brings.
I mean, obviously you want Jimmy to win it, there's no doubt about that whatsoever, but if he does get there, you've so got to fancy your chance in the final with a performance like that. 2 century breaks in 3 frames.
Well, you know, I played in the PTC in Belgium that Judd won at the weekend, and I played very poorly, and lost to Michael Holt, who played well on the day. And you know, snooker's such a fickle game. You know, I've been playing like that, working hard in practice for a good 4, 5, maybe 6 months now, and sometimes it takes a long time for it to come through, and if that's the start of things to come, then I'm pleased.
Is there a moment in a match you think it's clicked, finally, I know I'm going to play well for the rest of this match?
No.
Not at all? Not when you're out there? I mean, when you made the ton, did you not think, I'm feeling good? Because sometimes you're out there and you know it's not your day. There must be the flip side to that scenario.
Yeah, but in the 3rd frame there, I was absolutely perfect on the black, splitting the reds, and I missed the black that, you know, my mum would get. So, yeah. You know...
Your mum is Steve Davis, though, isn't she?
My mum is very good, though, to be fair.
In fact, I was listening to commentary there, and Willie said that pressure can do strange things to a player. Was it pressure? Did you take your eye off the ball, or was it just one of those things?
No, I've been practicing trying to perfect that shot that Ronnie's so good at, the kind of stun into the reds rather than screwing into the pack. I've been working on sort of almost not steering the cue ball, but sort of trying to push it through the pack, and I was thinking so much about it, I missed the black. Like a muppet.
I'm not obviously going to ask you who you hope to win the next one. You hope it's Jimmy. You hope he only drops a maximum of 1 frame. Stranger things have happened in snooker.
No comment.
Fingers crossed. We're going to have a quick break. Shaun Murphy, everyone. Welcome back to the Premier League Snooker. Semi-final 1 is done and dusted. And Shaun Murphy will be a very relieved and happy man. Didn't drop a frame against the informed Judd Trump. 3-0. He bought his place in tonight's final, which is coming up a bit later on. But who will he play? Defending champion or the Whirlwind? This is a state of play in the league table. Remember, that 4th spot, still not Ronnie's. He needs 2 frames. 2 frames in this semi-final will guarantee that last remaining spot in finals weekend. So let's get on with semi-final number 2. Time to meet the players, and first up, the Whirlwind. James Warren White. It's not gone too well for you this season in the Premier League, but forget about that. What a great gaming prospect tonight, Jimmy.
Yeah, I love playing Ronnie O'Sullivan. It was like when I used to play Alex Higgins, you know, crowd pleasers, you know, and goes for his shots. So it's always a pleasure to play Ron. 900
plus people in here tonight. Yeah. You don't get that often, snooker. Obviously, you get it at the World Championships, but you don't see a lot. Wonderful to play in such a huge crowd.
We're doing the Legends.
Only on good nights, Jim. Only on good nights.
No, it's, you know, fantastic. The last tournament Ronnie played in Antwerp, you know, there was 1,500 people to each session, and that's what snooker needs. It needs crowds like this. It's what, you know, people love to come and see exciting snooker.
And I know that you and Ronnie are best pals. How's it going to work tonight? Because in theory, you end his chances tonight, Jimmy. If you get to the final without dropping, well, you can drop one on obviously none, but two, and he's three. How does it work?
See you. No, you know, I'm here to try and win the match. I'll try and make the highest break. If there's a chance for 147, I'll go for that. It's a prize for that.
That'd be nice. Cheers. Ladies and gentlemen, one of the game's greatest ever players, the Whirlwind, Jimmy White. Talking to great players, they don't come better than this fella. Another 2 seconds, I would have been playing Jimmy tonight. What a great gaming prospect, not only for the opportunity to see you and Jimmy playing, but a little bit of pressure on you now, Ron. I mean, you've got to win 2 frames to get into the finals weekend.
Yeah, there's a bit of pressure because obviously it's in my hands, but you know, I go into every match wanting to play well, wanting to win. So I'll have my attitude won't be any different tonight.
Are you enjoying your game at the moment? I saw you, I was talking before about Judd and yourself in the final at the weekend in Belgium. I thought you played absolutely exceptionally well in the final. How is your form in your own mind at the moment?
Could be better, but I'm a bit more consistent, enjoying playing. And, you know, we've got such a busy schedule of tournaments now. You know, this could possibly be my last year in the Premier League, so obviously I'd like to go out on a high. And so it's a big tournament for me, really, in that way, because I've done so well in it over the years.
When you say could be your last one, you obviously mean that if you drop out the top 16 and you don't win a tournament, you know, in theory you might not be back here next year. But that ain't going to happen, is it, Ronnie?
No, even if I got invited, obviously our calendar's so big now, we've got so many ranking events, and you have to prioritise now, and obviously it's all about ranking points. This doesn't carry any ranking points, so in the priority list it obviously has gone down in that respect, but it's still a great tournament, so it could possibly be my last season, so I'd obviously like to do really well and win it and, you know, make it 10.
Well, I hope it doesn't come to that. I'm sure this lot as well don't want it to come to that for the time being. One of the game's best, Ronnie O'Sullivan. Well, how about that, lads? Willie Thorne and Mike Hallett. Could be his last year. I doubt it very much.
Well, nor do I, Andy, really. He loves the game too much.
The cameras away now, please. The first frame.
But he does know what he's got to do this evening. It's as simple as he's got to win 2 frames out of the 5. But Jimmy's here. He could spoil the party.
Amazes me over the years how Jimmy, like Steve Davis really, hasn't lost his love for the game. He really loves to battle. Still capable of winning tournaments, Jimmy White, amazingly enough. He still does exhibitions all over the country, makes many century breaks in the senior tour that's been going on. He's had a few maximums in that tournament, so he really is a crowd pleaser, as Ronnie O'Sullivan is with that great pot.
Well, look at that. Hardly any room past the yellow, but it was perfect cueing.
5.
It's amazing, isn't it, sometimes when you can be really pleased with your safety shot, as Jimmy White played the safety shot there, as Ronnie played round the back of the black. Jimmy White must have been delighted with his safety shot, and all of a sudden Ronnie O'Sullivan knocks that red in, and now a chance to score a few. Amazing game.
Well, that's the level all these young players have
13.
to aspire to. Well, he's missed the easiest
Ronnie
one.
O'Sullivan, 13.
Just concentrated on the kiss black. He didn't even look at the red, just making sure he kissed the black at least full ball to make sure he'd have had a pot on, and just took his eye off the red. Amazing.
That's a good shot. Good cue.
I tell you something, there'd be a lot more pressure on Ronnie if Jimmy won the first frame.
Oh, absolutely, Willie.
6.
I know the best of mates, but, you know, Jimmy
7.
would like to finish his campaign here with a win.
Yes, he just mentioned, obviously, there's prize money available in what position you finish in the league. There's prize money for a century break, there's prize money for a 147, so it's a little bit to play for Jimmy. Somebody's phone just
13.
went off in the auditorium, and Jimmy said, somebody get that.
14.
The famous one, of course, was Jan Verhaas, wasn't it, at Wembley? It went off and he said to the gentleman, I think it was a gentleman, he said, if it rings again, tell him you're on the way home.
There's still one more loose red, the one that's just to the left of the white will pot
21.
in the same pocket as this red, so it depends what kind of angle he gets on the black. If he's got a nice one, he can go
22.
into them. Perfect angle to go into them. There's a lovely little gap there in between the pack, but Jimmy just playing for the loose red. I'm not saying that's the wrong shot, but a lot of players would have got into him there, and as luck would have it, you can see why. You can't afford to miss any chance, Mike, can you, to go in the balls?
29.
Well, he's underhit that by a long way, isn't he?
Yeah, we talked about it in the first game between Shaun Murphy and Judd Trump. Shaun Murphy had lots of loose reds. That was a bit reckless.
Well, I'm not sure about that one.
And
Jimmy
Shaun
White,
went
29.
in the pack early, and that's what you've got to do in this age of snooker. And Jimmy's still very, very aggressive. I'm surprised he didn't go into them, probably because it was first frame. Just wanted to get his queuing arm going. But may have missed a trick there.
1.
Well, not on the intended red. Still has one to the right centre, though.
8.
Definitely played on the one to the right corner. And the one to the left middle is awkward queuing. I think he'll take on the one. Well, he's contemplating the plant here. There's some distance between these two reds. Great shot. He's been unlucky because he's blocked the path of the black.
That is dreadfully unlucky, isn't it? We've just got a chance to show you this again. Just look where the red goes. Just kept rolling, 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 and just covered the black.
Do you know, I think he's eyeing this pink up, Willie. I think he might take this pink on to the corner. Checking the clock.
Time extension.
I think a good safety shot here, Mike. He knows he's got to win 2 frames. There's no need to push the boat out. I agree with you. If it was not such an important frame, he may have taken it on.
Yeah, I think absolutely. He's played the correct shot there.
Left Jimmy a tempter, and it's one that he normally goes for, the one in the middle. Not looked at it yet, so maybe not decided to play the safety shot.
He's gone for it into the corner, and this isn't too far away.
Wow.
Well, it might go in now.
I mean, I don't blame him for taking the pot on, but surely he played at a weight where you've got a chance to get in the red safe. It was a tough pot as well, Mike, wasn't it? It wasn't easy.
Alright, and I think Ronnie might play this cushion first, just to try and get the white away from his corner pocket. Needs to hurry. Well, he played it full-blooded. Hang on. Oh, what about that for a bonus?
Boy, it doesn't matter how good you are, a bit of luck always helps. Wow.
I just had a quick look at Jimmy. He wasn't too impressed with that one. How many times do we say it though, Willie? For all the skill factor of these top players, how many times does that lady luck play its part?
7.
Don't know, never had any.
I was thinking of you when I asked you that.
8.
Yes, we saw it play a part, didn't we, in Belgium just a couple of days ago when Judd Trump flew to red in the final game and went on to beat Ronnie O'Sullivan. It happens a lot.
Well, I think that's the fascination. That's why we keep coming back for more.
13.
Anyway, it's definitely given Ronnie a great chance here to take this opening frame. And you'll want to make the most of this.
14.
Just take the pressure off a little bit. If you can capture the frame here.
$19. 20.
Glance at the scoreboard will tell him he's 13 points in front. So 2 open reds are be enough with big colours. The red in baulk. You can win the frame without potting that one.
27.
I mean, we know this area is a hotbed of snooker, Willie. But I mean, every year we come back, these lads and ladies and gents don't disappoint.
28.
It's always a great crowd in here.
They love it, don't they? Quite rightly. The league's been coming here now for 3 or 4 years, and when you're getting the best players in the world on your doorstep, you're entitled to turn out to watch them.
$35.
Well, he leads by 28 here. So you'll still need that last red.
36.
Yes, he'd have liked an angle on that red, wouldn't he, to get on the black, so he didn't need the last red, but he didn't have that angle.
That's the angle here from the green, though, to get right in behind this final red. And he only needs the red. Well, that's just about perfect.
Just
39.
He'd have liked this dead straight. He's just slightly queuing back, but it shouldn't be a problem.
40.
Well, it started with the fluke, and he's made the most of it. Well, a massive kick there, but it still went in.
You can't
45.
do anything else but love to watch Ronnie O'Sullivan play, can you? He just strikes the ball so good. And as you rightly say, Mike, even with a kick there, he's still got the screw back, which is
47.
unusual.
Well, you say to all the lads in the players' room, you say, this is the boy that all stop playing to watch this guy play. It's as simple as that.
50.
Well, he's right on it. There's no doubt there's nobody better.
$54. 59. 65 on the frame, Ronnie O'Sullivan.
That fortuitous fluke there by Ronnie. Winning this opening frame. Jimmy had a few chances early on in this opening frame. He couldn't take them, but Ronnie O'Sullivan leads Jimmy White by a frame to 0. Well, there's the fluke then from Ronnie O'Sullivan. That red into the centre. Let's have a look at this one. I thought he might take that cushion first, actually, but just look at that. And of course, he went on to make that 65 to capture the opening frame. And this is the table as it stands. And we know that Ronnie only has to win 2 frames here to put himself into the semi-finals.
Second frame. Jimmy White to break.
Well, that should take the pressure off Ronnie a little bit.
Yes, it could have been a different scenario. I mean, Jimmy had 2 very good opening chances, and if he'd have won that first frame, it would be interesting to see how Ronnie played, but he looks to be in good form. Looks like he's taking this on. always look reckless when you play there, but you see what he's doing with the cue ball, trying to bring it right the way back round into baulk, and he's just slightly under-hit that.
They look great when they go in. So Jimmy with an early chance then. He hasn't played that one too well. He was hoping to drift past for the black.
Jimmy White, 1.
Yeah, it's good safety this time. Very tough to get back into baulk. Got to hit this one very thin. Got to miss the double kiss on the way back. He's caught the yellow.
Well, I think he's covered the one near the pocket. The one on the right-hand side of the table could be available. Yes, he has covered the one nearest the pocket, but this one is still on. Unlucky. Well, he purposely played for the blue there, leaving the white near to this end of the table. Could have taken it further down to baulk.
We're only having 2 looks whether the black will pot into the corner. If it does, this is a good chance. If it doesn't, got to get rid of that red above the black spot quickly. And it obviously does pot.
Yeah, sorry, Willie. Again, quite surprised how Jimmy played that. I thought if he plays the white onto the green or brown, take it sit away from the reds, that red wouldn't have been on.
A lot less pressure on the shot mark as well when you're playing a shot to nothing, isn't there?
Absolutely. What a chance this is now for Ronnie.
It all depends whether that red's on the black spot, which it was. He tried to flick the red away from the black spot there and just missed it. The black's going to go on the pink spot now, which actually puts it out of commission. Just look how close he was to getting the kiss right.
Just too much side on the cue ball. Well, this is awkward. Especially to get back for the blue. Well, he's done well there. Not quite hard enough.
I can't believe how much topspin he generated there, Mike. When you're cueing down on a ball like that, the white's got no spin on it, has it?
Just shows you the cue action, doesn't it? And it is the Rolls Royce of cue actions, Ronnie's. It just, we've always said it was just maximum effect with minimum effort.
Like that.
Oh, get the spin on that one.
Maximum effect, minimum effort. Yeah, I like that. Good, I'll have to use that one. I'll nick that one off you.
Sorry, mate, I've got copyright in it.
14.
Once again, he's got to play a good shot here. With the white being near the cushion, very hard to get on the ball.
But there again, he's made that look easy.
15.
You know, he's cueing just off the cushion and knocked it in like it was over the corner.
Still not a frame winning opportunity at the moment where pink and black are. He's a good positional shot here. On purpose he played into the black, trying to free it. Hasn't quite freed it. So a lot more work to do now. He's going to have to use the other red. He's going to play a deep screw off the other red and try and get out into open play for blue or baulk colour. Just have to rely a little bit on luck there.
It's made it a little bit easier though, with that red going over the corner. He's also got one into the baulk area as well.
The key with that shot, of course, was keeping your head out. Whenever you're near the cushion, you've got to keep still on the shot, and that was a prime example of how to play it.
26.
Now, he might play to get on the blue here and play the cannon into the pink and black. Just keep an eye on the white here. He'd like to hit the pink thin and then cannon into the black as well. So try and bring both big colours into play here. And if this goes right, it could be himself into the semi-finals. But he just played to flick the black. I thought he'd have played into the pink there, to be honest. I didn't think he played that very well.
32.
Yeah, he had nothing out of that shot. He's put the black safer, actually.
33.
It's very unusual a player can win a game just off blue and baulk colours, Mike, but this could be a case where he could win the frame.
I don't think he'll care. As we said, he only wants 2 frames out of this match. He's got one of them.
38.
Do you think Sean Murphy's got his voodoo doll out upstairs at the minute, sticking pins in him, hoping he make Ronnie miss?
Well, 39. He hasn't twitched yet. And let's be honest, he doesn't twitch that often. Oh, having said that,
Ronnie O'Sullivan, 39.
Perhaps that needle did hit it then.
Oh, there must be. Does the pink pot? Obviously it does. I'm going to say the way he played that, it obviously did, yeah. Wow, that was careless, Jimmy. That's something that happens, Mike, and you're still playing competitively.
Yeah.
The older you get, you just get down sometimes and your alignment's wrong.
You miss those more often, don't you? That's the problem. I mean, let's be honest, 5, 6, 7 years ago, Jimmy just not there, blown that in. Wouldn't even have thought about it.
It's an age thing, honestly. I see it all the time now with Steve Davis, who's still competitive. People like yourself and that, because you get a little bit older, you just don't take your time on that kind of shot. And every shot's important the older you get.
Well, that's what you've got to think about and admire, like Steve Davis. He still plays to a good standard. But unfortunately for Jimmy, as we've seen over the last couple of seasons, those are just creeping in too often.
Yeah, he'd miss at least a couple in a best of 7 or best of 9, wouldn't he? And that they cost him 2 frames.
8.
And he's had chances in the opener and in this one.
So this blue will put him 50 in front, so red and colour. And Ronnie O'Sullivan will make the line-up for Hopton on C.
He might just choose to try and open the black here for this one. He will be on the pink if he plays a deep screw on it. Oh, perfect.
14.
What a lineup we've now got for the semi-finals. Well, whoever out of the 10 players would have got to the semi-finals would have had a great lineup.
Well, I can tell you, well, it'll be
20.
Ding Junhui versus Ronnie, and Judd Trump against Mike Williams.
And who would you fancy out the 4?
21.
You're taking lessons of Andy Goldstein. Well, who's to say that this guy can't win it again? He's crept in through the back door.
He'll certainly be favourite, that's for certain.
28. 29.
Well, there was a little bit of pressure on him here this evening, but he's done what was asked of him.
And as you rightly say, he's been vulnerable, hasn't he? He's not given a few chances away.
Foul. Ronnie O'Sullivan 36, Jimmy White 4 frame, Ronnie O'Sullivan.
So with that 39 there and a 36 from Ronnie O'Sullivan, he secures his place in the last 4. He's leading he's leading Jimmy White by 2 frames to 0. Welcome back to Grimsby then, and this is tonight's order of players so far. We saw Shaun Murphy with that terrific win over Judd Trump, making 2 centuries. Gave himself a bit of a glimpse to go into the semi-finals, but if we've just seen there, Ronnie O'Sullivan securing that 2nd frame, he's put himself in the last 4.
3rd frame, Ronnie O'Sullivan to break.
This could be an early bath for Jimmy if he misses those long ones like that, but he's got away with it this time. Still plays copious amounts of exhibitions around the country. Oh, what a shot that was. You're going to play the black and the reds will be spread far and wide. Wow, he's bounced over the pack there. That's amazing.
Well, he's only moved 2.
Just keep an eye on the white. We'll get a chance to show you that very quickly. It just bounced all over them. He looks in very, very good form. Probably played to flick the outside red there of the pack just to nudge it on. There's 16. This red on, but near the cushion's very tough. Well, normally very tough.
Yeah, fairly normal human being. Well, that will
17.
do. Well, he's obviously going for a maximum. Oh, hang on, he might still be on this. He's thinking about a maximum. Can he spin around this black? Get in.
Little smile between these two legends, Ronnie O'Sullivan, Jimmy White. He tried to swerve round the pack, going for the 147. Wouldn't this crowd just love to have seen that?
White.
Needs a little bit of luck here. And I'm not sure whether he's had it.
6.
Don't think there's anything there.
Yes, overhit it, didn't he, by 2 feet. Those 3 reds to the left of the white, all potted in the corner. That'd have been the 3 he'd have been going for, as you can see from that camera angle. Nothing available in the right-hand corner.
I think he's contemplating a cross double. He's gone too wide.
Jimmy White 6.
Don't blame Jim for trying to push the boat out there. Obviously, he knows now that it's going to be tough to win the match. And one is already into the semis, so just trying to make a century there.
1. Six. 7. 12. 13.
The only thing missing in this match is a century. We had 2 in the
20.
first semi-final from Sean Murphy, back-to-back centuries. I think we're going to be in for a very
21.
good final, whatever happens now.
$26. 27.
'Getting ever closer now to the winning line in this frame.
34.
Well, great queuing over that red.
35.
Well, there's a little bit of a question mark over Ronnie this evening. He had a little bit of a job to do, but he's done that. He knows he's in the last 4.
42.
And he'll be there
43.
in Hopton-on-Sea at the end of the month. And who's to say that he won't capture this title again?
This is frame ball. Well, with a colour it is.
48.
Well, actually, it's frame ball already without a colour. So Ronnie O'Sullivan's done what he had to do. You know, he only needed 2, but he's now made the match safe. And very shortly we'll be seeing a final between
53.
Sean Murphy and Ronnie O'Sullivan, both in great form.
54.
Well, Jimmy's had 1 or 2 chances here this evening. Couldn't quite make them.
60.
But well, Ronnie's just cleared them afterwards, really.
It's all about missing the kiss on the brown here and getting onto this red. It's hit it a little bit too hard, but the kiss has helped.
68.
Especially if he goes to the corner. Great shot.
69.
Natural angle, doesn't have to play with any sort of side. It would naturally drop on the yellow. So O'Sullivan has a chance of finishing with a century.
Well, this is why crowds come out in their numbers to see this man when he's playing like this and he's cueing this well. Let's not forget we've got this tournament to settle at the end of the month, and then we've got the UK Championship around the corner in 2 or 3 weeks' time. So I think all the boys are gearing towards that as well.
Yes, and we're back in York. What a wonderful venue that is, York.
Yeah, they've had, what, a £3 million revamp, I think. It's supposed to be beautiful.
The Barbican Centre, yes. It's, all players love to play there. Can Ronnie now finish with a century? Looks like it now.
90. '96.
Well, this is for the 3rd century of the season. Then Shaun Murphy's had 2, and this is going to be 1 from Ronnie. But again, he came here, he knew what he had to do, and he's done it. He's beaten Jimmy White 3-0 this evening. He's got to play Shaun Murphy, of course, but he knows now he's into the semi-finals later in the month.
Welcome back to Premier League Snooker. We've had both our semi-finals, they've been played. Shaun Murphy booked his place in the final with a wonderful win, 3-0 over Judd Trump, and he was hoping for Jimmy White to do something similar to the defending champion, Ronnie O'Sullivan, but it was not to be. Ronnie O'Sullivan in fine form, winning by the exact same scoreline, which means we've got a final coming up with Murphy against O'Sullivan. But this is the current state of the league table. As you can see, Ding tops it, Ronnie second. Remember, first v fourth, second v third in finals weekend. Ronnie gets 1 frame in tonight's final. He will top the group and play Mark Williams. If he doesn't, if things stay as they are, he'll play Judd Trump. And it's with me now. Wonderful performance. Well done, Ron.
Thanks.
Did you do you enjoy the game tonight? It must be so difficult when you're playing someone like Jimmy, who's not only your hero, but a lot of people that love snooker grew up watching Jimmy. It must be difficult when you know it's not happening for your opponent like Jim, and it is for you as well.
Yeah, no, but Jimmy's one of them players. Even if he's not playing well, he's just got oozes class. The way he just walks around the table, he's a legend. Always will be a legend. And if you put videos on if you put a video on of Jimmy White in another 100 years and showed him play, they still wouldn't. They'd still say, we've never seen that snooker before. So, he's just the business. I
always try and work you out, Ronnie. When you come down and we shake hands, even on the handshake, I'm thinking, what Ronnie am I going to get? How will he answer the questions? Before the match, I was thinking, he's not in a good mood tonight. He doesn't look happy. I think he's going to lose. You get out there, you wipe the floor with whoever would have been sat there, irrelevant of Jimmy or anyone else. You play wonderful snooker. How are you feeling now?
Yeah, no, I feel great. I've been feeling really happy and chilled out for the last 6-7 months. So, just that when I come here and you've got like 1,000 people, you go into a different mindset. You go into, I'm here to do business, I'm here to entertain, I'm here to put on a show. So you kind of have that adrenaline pumping through your body. So I might not look happy, but inside I'm feeling good. And
you must be over the moon as well to make finals weekend. Back to Hopton-on-Sea for a weekend.
Yeah, can't wait.
On a serious note, though, we were talking before you played this match, and you were saying, I might not come back next year, relevant of what happens. I was looking at my Twitter feed during your match, and people were going mad, saying, Jimmy's a great player, Ronnie's a great player, the Premier League is completely different when they're playing. You've got to come back next year. If you win it, if you don't win it, obviously if you're invited, which I'm sure you will, but if the invite's there, surely you're not going to turn it down, Ronnie.
No, listen, the calendar is so packed now, and I'm not the only one, so we've got these events now, these PTC events, and they're putting ranking points on, so obviously I need to prioritise the ranking events, and I don't want to have to qualify for the big events, so there's no good being in Premier League but then not being in the World Championships, the UKs, the Masters. They're the big events. So obviously ranking points is what it's all about. This doesn't carry any ranking points, so it's obviously dropped down pecking order. There's 23 ranking events now, which is trying to fit them all into the diary is pretty hard, especially when you want a life as well.
But you'd like to come back when you want.
I'd like to come back. I'd like to play in every tournament, but it's just not possible. It's a very busy calendar, and we're happy for it. But obviously now you have to prioritise. Everyone has different priorities.
Okay, and finally we've got a final coming up. You against Shaun Murphy. You have a little bit of a rivalry there. You looking forward to the final tonight?
I just like playing. I don't feel there's a rivalry there. I just enjoy playing, and Shaun's a fantastic player, and you know, it's just always good to play good players.
Well, you're both looking fine form. It's going to be a great final. For the time being, we'll see you in a minute. Ronnie O'Sullivan, everyone. Thanks, Ronnie. In a matter of moments, we have a final to take place between the Rocket Ronnie O'Sullivan and Shaun Murphy. Willie Thorne, fresh from having his moustache trimmed. He's nice and even as well, Willie. Joins me now. What a final we've got on our hands. Let's talk about the semis before we talk about the final. You've got to feel a little bit for Shaun Murphy. He did everything right in his semi-final. He was waiting, obviously, on the second one, and sadly, it didn't go his way. But what a great performance by him.
Well, he played great. He had to win the first match 3-0 to give himself an extra special chance, and he did that. And watching the first two frames, Jimmy White's had a very good chance in the first two frames. So I said on commentary, I'm sure that Shaun Murphy's got his effigy doll there and sticking a few pins in Ronnie O'Sullivan. It wasn't to be. You know, Shaun, he knows he's had it to do, you know, tonight. And like he said at the beginning, he was disappointed the way he'd played in the league earlier on. It was in his own hands. He was pleased the way he'd played throughout the season, but a couple of results didn't go his own way, which perhaps should have done.
Does it make a difference to a player if they usually perform well in a particular tournament and don't make it, or is failure just failure?
No, I think so. I think you've got to have pride in performance, and I think Shaun's saying he's been playing very well throughout the league. I mean, you've got 10 of the best players in the world. Only Selby, really, of the top players in the world, is not playing in this tournament. And so, you know, even if you play at your best, you can lose. So Shaun's, you know, he's had his chances and just wasn't quite good enough on the tournament.
He's obviously coming up in a sec. He makes it into the final. He's playing Ronnie O'Sullivan. Great performance. Got to feel a little bit sorry for Jimmy White.
Oh yeah, I mean Jimmy's just we all love him, don't we? Everybody loves Jimmy White. The crowd love him. The players love him. He's given more to the game. Well, him and Steve Davis have probably been the greatest ambassadors our game has ever had. And to see Jimmy still battling on there is great. He's still very, very capable of winning as well. Makes copious amounts of centuries in exhibitions, makes maximums, you know, and all that, so he can still play. But it's just the consistency now. The older you get, you miss easy balls. You see that with all the top players now, like Steve Davis, John Parrott before he retired, Jimmy. You know, we saw Jimmy miss a red there that was just impossible for him to miss years ago, and that's what creeps in when you get a little bit older. You just miss easy balls.
We've got our top four now. We know who's going to be in finals weekend. We don't know the order. It's 1v4, 2v3. We don't know who's going to be playing who. Ronnie needs just one frame to top the group, and if he does, he'll play Mark Williams. Is that the sort of draw he wants in the semi?
I don't think there's an easy draw in the semi-finals, is there, in Hopton-on-Sea? I don't think it makes any difference. Ronnie would be just happy now to be there. There was a chance he might not have been there, so he's done what he had to do. Who he plays doesn't really matter.
What is going to happen in the final, Willie?
This will be a tough one. I mean, this match now, obviously Shaun's now maybe just kind of lost a little bit of adrenaline, so Shaun might not play as good as he did in the semi-final, but there again, he could go out and try and make the 147, which we haven't seen in this tournament. I mean, 140 is the highest break we've seen. I think this tournament, the way it's been played this year, deserves a 147, and we might just get it.
Nicely set up. Thank you for that. Right, I'll let you get back to the commentary box. Time for a 147, and the first player that can get it is Shaun Murphy.
It's your birthday, we gon' party like it's your birthday. We gon' sip a party like it's your birthday. And you know we don't give up, it's not your birthday. You'll find me in the club, bottle full of bub. Mama, I got what you need if you need to fill a buzz. I'm into having sex, I ain't into making love. So come give me a hug, if you're into getting rough. You'll find me in the club, bottle full of bub. Mama, I got what you need if you need to fill a buzz. I'm into having sex, I ain't...
They could call this match in future years the 147 final. Let's join our boys in the box. Mike Callett, and first up, Phil Yates.
Thanks, Andy. Yes, Shaun Murphy cannot make the semi-finals, but I'll tell you what, he can earn himself a considerable sum of money by winning this match.
Thank you. The cameras away now, please. The first frame, Ronnie O'Sullivan to break.
Currently, Murphy is guaranteed to finish at the very worst 8th in the table. He could finish 5th, and if he does so, that would mean in this match a differential in payday of £7,500. So he does not lack incentive.
I can assure you, Sean won't give Ronnie an inch here. You want to go out on a high, even though he hasn't qualified. Let's not forget these two boys have competed the finals, or the final, over the last couple of seasons. Well, Ronnie's still there in the semis, as we said, but unfortunately Sean won't be. But he'll give nothing to Ronnie here.
9.
Great angle on the black to get into the pack. He caught them well. It just depends whether he's on this red or not. Has the cue ball stuck to the red? Let's have a look at the replay. It's just stuck.
16,
I'm not sure whether he's on this red to the right corner. It seems not. It's touching ball, so he can play the white away.
Sean Murphy, 16.
So if you're just joining us, I can tell you we know our semi-finalists in the PartyPoker.com Premier League of 2011. Deng Junhui from China, Judd Trump from England, Mark Williams from Wales, Ronnie O'Sullivan from England. But who will play who? That depends on this match.
Attempted the cross double, not too far away. Yeah, got ahead of himself a little bit in the last match, Phil, because I thought the semi-finals were already sorted out, but of course they're not, as you've just mentioned. It all depends on the frames in this match.
Mind you, when you get down to this level of competition, it's pick your poison, isn't it, really?
Absolutely. Well, that's a bit of a bonus. He was leaving one on, but it's awkward now.
Rest off the table.
Yeah, Alan Mark Williams.
Mike, to keep the rest head still on that kind of shot when you're not supporting it on the green baize is quite tough.
Well, you need strong wrist for that. Well, another nudge that is. He's got away with a couple there, Sean. That first one he collided into the red, left Ronnie nothing on, and again there. Might be 2 cushions here. Glancing blow, try and get the white back to bulk. Just caught them a little bit on the thick side, but doesn't seem to have done any damage. Well, yes, he's pushed one over the corner, but he's managed to cover everything. And Ronnie can't play one onto the other either. He might need to take an extension here.
Time extension.
Followed your advice, Mike.
Yeah, it's awkward, isn't it? He wanted to really try and get to that red on the left-hand side, but he can't, so he's got to play a good safety here. Oh, that's a great shot. Now, has he covered this red over the corner? I think he's just done that. Yes, he has. I often watch Ronnie practice when he comes into these matches, Phil. He's out there in the arena on this match table, and he practices those for about 30 minutes, those thin edges like that, because, as we know, hit them too thick, you don't get the white in the right position. This time, Sean's messed up, and he's left Ronnie the chance.
Well, those who categorise O'Sullivan as just merely a one-dimensional potter and break builder could not be any more off the mark. Tactically, he's very astute indeed.
The thing is as well, with these fast tables, these ultra-fast cloths, they react differently to a normal club table, and you have to keep practicing those thin edges off those reds for safety, and they do it time and time again. Well, we know that he was queuing well in the first match, and what a chance this is.
8.
Yes, Jimmy White, unfortunately the only player in the event who failed to win a single match.
9.
4 outings, 4 defeats.
$15.
So we must
16.
remember O'Sullivan needs only 1 frame to guarantee himself at the top of the table going into the playoffs. And will that be a good omen, because last year he topped the table and went on to recapture the title.
22. 23.
Well, it's a role reversal for the 2 high colours, but it won't matter, Ronnie, as long as he can win the frame from here.
30.
He's won
31.
the Premier League on 9 occasions. No player has ever won an individual tournament more often than O'Sullivan in this.
$38.
Modern era, of course. If you go
39.
back to the early days, Joe Davis was undefeated in the World Championship from 1927 until his retirement from it after he won in 1946.
46.
Yeah, but in the modern era, I think 7 world titles by Hendry is up there.
47.
And 6 by Steve as well. There's question marks whether the likes of John Higgins can surpass that. And Ronnie could if he got his nut down, really. But it depends if they want it.
Well, on the game's official website this week, worldsnooker.com, he was
54.
saying that he feels as though he's underachieved. And I must be honest,
55.
I think it's the greatest compliment you can pay him. So do I.
$61.
With his current mindset,
62.
I think he's going to be very difficult to beat in the playoffs and also the forthcoming UK Championship. Just get the feeling he'll dig in at both and give it 100%.
68.
Well, he'd like to finish the season off with a major again under his belt.
69.
There's one more PTC actually before Christmas to be played. That's at the Academy in Sheffield. But this has been wonderful snooker this evening. Remember Sean in this first match with Judd, I mean, 2 centuries. I mean, it's incredible, but he's missed one here, and that's his lot, really.
76.
Perfect angle on the pink to split the 2 reds. Wow, this is just fun. Playing for fun.
82.
And he wants to make a century as well. Oh, unlucky. So close.
82. And the frame, Ronnie O'Sullivan.
This packed house at Grimsby are being royally entertained by the king of snooker entertainment, Ronnie O'Sullivan. 82 break, 1-0. Ronnie O'Sullivan 1-0 up in the final here in Grimsby tonight in what is the final night of qualifying for the PartyPoker.com Premier League. And that's why we now know that Ronnie O'Sullivan, the defending champion of this particular tournament, is going to be the table topper going into the semi-finals.
Okay. The second frame, Shaun Murphy to break.
Just to repeat though, Murphy's got plenty of money to play for. Finishing 5th in the table earns much more than finishing 8th.
This looks good. It's a perfect angle. Well, what can you say? Banging behind the yellow. You can always tell those shots when they just hit the side cushion about 3 or 4 inches before the middle pocket. Invariably they go behind green or yellow. This looks good as well. Oh, what a shot that is.
Touching ball.
Well, what can you say? Touching ball. 2 shots there from either player. 1 from either player. Top draw. But it is touching, so Ronnie can just play away from these reds, put the white anywhere down the other end of the table. Would have liked that cue ball just to the left, about another 3 inches or so. He's given Shaun a chance just to clip off these reds. He's gone for one. Oh, here's a good kiss. Oh well, could have been better, but what a red from there.
Five. Six.
Well, that's not finished too badly. Just watch this, cannon into the red, finish nicely on the black.
Top cushion a little bouncy at times.
30.
It's been. Generally speaking though, I think the table is playing beautifully.
14.
By its very nature, these Premier Leagues are one-night stands. Sometimes that poses a challenge for the table fitter. By and large, I think they do a wonderful job.
I'll agree with that. These tables really are beautiful to play on.
21. $22.
Sometimes, of course, with the tournaments abroad, when we go into places like Shanghai, Australia, with the humidity, they do tend to be a little bit softer off the cushions. Just with the warmth of the climate.
Well, of course, everyone's seen on the news recently the terrible floods in Thailand. We had a couple of ranking events out there, right in the middle of the rainy season, back in the mid-90s. Ronnie O'Sullivan won one of them, actually. The Asian Classic, beating Brian Morgan in the final. The tables were like sludge, purely and simply because it was so humid. One of the venues was right next to the Chao Phraya River as well. Those days are gone now. I think conditions generally a lot more uniform, a lot better.
I remember a time when I played in Hong Kong as well, Phil, and the cue, I play with a maple cue. Some lads play with ash. It's a preference. There's
35.
2 main woods, ash and maple. Maple tends to move a little bit more. I got out to Hong Kong and the cue had moved. It's like a boomerang. I had to play with it while I was out there. I couldn't do anything about it. When it came back into the UK, it straightened itself up. Amazing. Oh, it's missed that one.
Shaun Murphy, 35.
It just fell a little bit awkward for him. Still expecting to get that one though.
I know exactly what you're saying, Mike, but no shot with the spider, particularly the swan neck, is easy.
As soon as it's downward striking, you can easily bounce the white offline.
1.
Well, just look at that. Absolutely packed in the Grimsby Auditorium. As it always is, actually, on this occasion. Ronnie will go into the reds here. Wants a good cannon. Well, again, that could have been better.
Yes, one of those instances here where the red close to the middle pocket looks quite easy, but I can assure you it isn't. Very acute, not much pocket to aim at.
You can only float this in as well for the blue. I'm just wondering if the pink goes actually to this left corner.
No.
He's looking at it, so I assume it does go. Plenty of room. He's not missed much this evening, Ronnie, has he? He's come here to do a job and he wants to finish it in style.
After the first match, when Sean Murphy won 3-0 in double quick time against Judd Trump, went up into the players' room. There was O'Sullivan. Normally he's in a chatty mood. He wasn't. You could see he got his game head on. Desperate to get through. Because basically, although this tournament is called the PartyPoker.com Premier League, it could also be called the Ronnie O'Sullivan Benefit.
24. I
think you mentioned to me early on, Phil, there's only been one venue we've had
32.
three nils. Is it the first one?
Yeah, and funnily enough, just down the road, geographically very close, the Embassy Theatre in Skegness.
We've had a couple of shootouts as well, which have been exciting.
39.
But Ronnie going well here.
40.
He played well in his first match against Jimmy, winning 3-0. Has a chance to make it 2-0 in this final. Played that well. It's on a string.
45. 46.
Got to admire the skill of these players, Phil. It's just touch. I've got one of these on the the tables, the table I practice on as well. But the lads in the club can't play on it. It's just too fast.
51.
They'll just lose the white all the time, and it's just touch and finesse. He's just nudged the red away from the pink, and it looks
52.
beautiful, doesn't it? When they're in this sort of, we say, control of themselves, control of the cue ball, and things at the table.
Kiss on the green, unintended. Not worked out too badly.
57.
Easy.
58.
Out of position again, though. Might take the blue. I'm just having a quick look at the pink, but I think blue is favourite. Can hold the white in the middle of the table for the red. Well, he's come back for the red. No problem. No hesitation. He's crewing well.
When he first burst onto the scene as a professional
63.
in 1992, as a 16-year-old, he won his
64.
first 38 matches in qualifying rounds for ranking events, and that was one of the things I noticed about him back then, that ability to pop the recovery blue into one of the baulk pockets when he went slightly out of position.
69.
The thing is, though, with Ronnie, you rarely see a bad performance from him, Phil.
71.
Even his B game is better than 70% of some of the lads' A games.
The only time you see a bad performance from him is when he's not really bothered.
74.
When he's into it, he's fantastic to watch.
78.
Well, I think it's gone in and out of the pocket there.
78 down the frame. Ronnie O'Sullivan.
Ronnie O'Sullivan grimaces, but I tell you what, he's playing lovely stuff tonight. 82 break, then 78 break, and just like that, O'Sullivan leads Sean Murphy 2-0. The venue is the Grimsby Auditorium. The tournament is the PartyPoker.com Premier League. It's the final qualifying evening before the playoffs. Ronnie O'Sullivan 2-0 ahead in the final. His place in the semi-finals is assured. The best Sean Murphy can do,
The third frame.
is come back and win this
Ronnie
match
O'Sullivan to
3-2
break.
and perhaps nick 5th place. We not only know the composition of the semi-finals now, we also know who plays who. O'Sullivan will take on Mark Williams, battle of two former world champions, two former UK and Masters champions as well. And in the other semi-final, it's going to be Ding against Judd Trump.
What a red. Well, I think he meant that one. Well, it could have been better, but he still has one to the middle. Well, he might have the one nearest the black, actually.
Touching ball.
Caught them well. Expected more reds to move, but he is on this one there, the black. He was able to turn the black into a good position.
7.
This audience this evening, Phil, have been treated to some great snooker from these stars.
I think that's one of the ancillary benefits of the Barry Hearn snooker revolution.
15.
Nowadays, all of these guys are playing on a regular basis. They're match sharp. I think that's why the standard is as it is. A few seasons back, when there were so few tournaments, I think the standard actually dropped, understandably, because sometimes players were going a month, 6
22.
weeks, even 2 months between events.
And now it's just about every week stepping off one
23.
plane and getting onto another.
The most extreme example of which, of course, was Sean Murphy. Shanghai Masters he played in, flew back home. I think he had 1 day at home and then flew out to Brazil, so from east to west.
30. $31.
It's great to be playing all the stuff around Europe. We need all that, but it'd be nice to get 1 or 2 more in the UK calendar as well, Phil, i.e. the British Open, possibly the Scottish Open. I know Aberdeen is a great venue. They always support it well up there. Perhaps the doubles back. Who knows?
38.
Don't have to say anything. I'll give him a ring.
And so says a former champion, Mike Hallett.
39.
Had to carry Stephen Hendry all those tournaments.
Well, I didn't want to say it. Nice to see that the game is on the up and up again.
Not wishing to foment trouble, I wouldn't do that, but I think if there was a doubles event, it would be unlikely that Murphy would team up with
45.
O'Sullivan.
You never know.
$46.
Well, if there was, you could possibly look at the pairings in the World Team Cup. Probably 75% of those could be doubles partners, as we see Sean go into the pack there but not land on anything.
52.
But that's ahead anyway, and this is now. And he's got to cover that red over the corner. He was unlucky there. He was already
Sean
with a
Murphy,
52-point
52.
lead. Just needed a good split on the reds.
Touching ball.
Initiated the scoring with 35 in the previous frame. That wasn't sufficient. Will 52 be enough here?
Time extension.
Ronnie's taken a time extension. It's been declared a touching ball, but Ronnie's just looking where to leave this cue ball. Not to leave Sean that red in, or on I should say, over the corner. Just on the diagonal there, towards the green pocket would be ideal. No, I think he's gone far enough. I think he's covered this red with the blue. Well, he hasn't. So that's a poor shot from Ronnie. He needed to get right on the diagonal there. Great cueing. Well, I'm surprised he played it so hard, because I think that black passes the red as we watch the replay. He's taking the pink, but he's got to send the red, the cue ball I should say, around the table. He's got to avoid the ball colours here. And that bounced, he has done. This looks very good. That's a great shot.
7.
First class positional shot.
Wholehearted support for Murphy. They want to see more snooker.
8.
Oh, he's got a slight angle on the black here to get into them. He just needs a couple of reds with collars here to secure this third frame. Still has one to the centre.
15.
Did well to pot that because someone's mobile
16.
phone is going off, Mike.
Incredible. No. Should be like the OK Corrals, and it leaves your phones with the sheriff like the guns, eh?
It was a rather annoying
23.
ring as well. Sounded like something from Postman Pat.
I wonder if his name's Jess. Meanwhile,
24.
Sean has done the damage here in this third frame.
So we are going to have a trio of whitewashes.
30. 31. 31 on the frame.
10 frames played so far tonight, with the next one coming up, and they've all flown by. Snooker's been excellent. Murphy, 2-1 down. And so this is it. The players in the yellow boxes are through to the playoffs. Ronnie O'Sullivan will top the table. Then it's Ding Junhui from China, Judd Trump in third place, Mark Williams in fourth. The semi-finals will be O'Sullivan-Williams, Ding against Trump. But of course, Shaun Murphy is moving up the table all of the time, and if he can win the next frame, obviously he'll leapfrog John Higgins.
I'll tell you what, looking at those fours, you look at Sean in the chair. I know he's not there in the last four, Phil, but let's not put it past Judd Trump to win this title. He won last week in Belgium, and he played very well indeed. Of course, he beat Ronnie in that final, so we're only a couple of weeks away from the semi-finals at Hopton-on-Sea.
Well, if O'Sullivan doesn't win it and makes a successful defence of the title, then we know a new name will appear on the trophy. Trump's never won this tournament. Mark Williams hasn't. Beaten in the final on 3 occasions.
Okay.
And Ding has never made the
Frame
final.
4. Shaun Murphy to break.
Yeah, Sean didn't want to leave the evening finishing like with a 3-0 defeat, having that wonderful win against Judd in the first match. I'm not sure whether he can see enough of this red to take it on, but perhaps he can. Plenty of room, and he's floated it in to get on the black. That's a great shot. I mean, bottom on the white with side as well. Tremendous control of the cue ball.
Pod success rate from
8.
distance 100. You cannot, Mike, get better than that.
9.
Beforehand, our resident soothsayer, Willie Thorne, was talking about a 147.
16.
Well, wouldn't it be great just to finish off the qualifying section with one of those, eh?
17. $24. 25.
All about the split.
It's not bad. He's on the red to the middle, and he's taken out a couple more as well. He has made a maximum,
32.
Sean Murphy. 2001 in the old Masters Championship, actually, the qualifiers.
33.
I'm right in saying there's a £25,000 prize, Phil.
You are indeed.
Could have done with that. Just
40.
running on a little bit more. He's got some to do here to get onto the black. Has he spotted the 3-ball plant? To the left corner? No. Hang on.
Sean Murphy, 40.
A little bit of financial greed got in Sean Murphy's eye line there, blocking his path to winning the frame.
One.
Could cost him the frame and match.
Yes, it pays not to take a risk on 40. Our colleague Neil Folds once took a risk on 80 after plotting 10 reds, 10 blacks against Fleinough, another colleague, Willie Thorne, and Neil Folds lost that frame. So if you can lose one after making 80, you can certainly lose one after making 40.
Five.
This man at the table, of course, has made 10 in his career. And of course, the most famous one of all was the one at the Crucible. Was it 5 minutes 20?
12.
Incredible. I think he stopped for a sandwich as well.
He's actually made 11,
13.
you know, Mike.
Oh, is it 11 now?
It is, yes. He's gone clear on his own at the top of the maximum break stakes.
So he's, what, surpassed Stephen Hendry's record?
$20.
Still can't forget the one that Hendry made in the Liverpool Victoria
21.
Challenge at Birmingham there, and I think he led Ronnie 8-2. Ronnie came back to 8-all. I was in the audience that night, sitting next to Willie actually, and what happens? Stephen just nonchalantly knocks a red in down the left side cushion and makes a maximum to win 9-8. And they came off, looked at each other and just laughed.
28.
That is star quality.
I think one of
29.
O'Sullivan's best maximums was also in the deciding frame of a best of 17 against Mark Selby in the UK Championship semi-finals. That's okay.
36. 37.
Well, probably the red near the left cushion is the slightly awkward one, but you know, we know how good Ronnie is playing
43.
those shots left-handed, so really this is a great chance to take out the match.
44.
As we've mentioned already this evening, Phil, he came here with a purpose and he's done the job.
Tell you what, Mike, I don't think the commentators will be putting in their overtime forms this evening.
51.
It's gone in a flash.
Well, that awkward red, he's just missed off the cushion, but he needed that cue ball away from the cushion a little bit more. Still expect him to knock this pink in. Easy. Okay, it went in the side door, but still great queuing. He leads by 18. So he just needs the pink and the last red. In fact, he'll need a colour off the last red. My apologies. Any colour.
$65.
I'll just hold for the black here. This has been good stuff from Ronnie this evening. We said he had to come here and play. He knew what he had to do, Phil, and he's produced the goods.
Yes, and Murphy's pursuit of the maximum, I suppose understandable in many respects, has cost him frame and match.
75.
O'Sullivan
78.
heading to Norfolk in form.
$82.
Ten players involved
87.
in this year's tournament. It was described as the perfect 10. I wonder whether in the playoffs
93.
Ronnie O'Sullivan can go on to make it a perfect 10 in terms of Premier League titles. On this form, you would not bet against the Rockets. Fantastic. 3-0 in the semi-finals against Jimmy White, 3-1 against Shaun Murphy. He goes into the semi-finals as the table topper.
Wonderful win for the defending champion. We knew he'd booked this place already before that 3-1 win. But there is confirmation of all our results from tonight. Murphy won a wonderful semi against Judd Trump 3-0. Ronnie won his semi-final as well. We've just seen a wonderful performance as well by the defending champion, which puts Ronnie O'Sullivan back on top of the Premier League with 18 points. Ding Junhui in second place. Judd with third place, and Mark Williams in fourth place, which means the semi-final lineup is the Rocket, Ronnie O'Sullivan, defending champion, against Mark Williams, and Ding Junhui against Judd Trump. I'm glad to say, defending champion, the Rocket, Ronnie O'Sullivan, is with me now. Well played, wonderful performance, Ron.
Yeah, it was all right, you know, played all right, and Shaun put some good balls, and could have gone 2-all there, you know, he could have won either of them first two. He was in first, you know, so could have gone either way.
Is there a part of your game that you're not happy with? I know maybe 2 or 3 years ago the long potting seemed to let you down. Phil Yates made a wonderful point. You thanks very much. Thank you. We are live, obviously those things do happen. Phil Yates made a wonderful point saying that you invented, if you like, the recovery blue, when you're maybe a little bit short on the blue into the middle pocket and you have to take it into the corner. A couple of times we saw that tonight. It must be nice for you knowing your game is virtually back to how it should be.
Yeah, you know, I'm just enjoying it more now. You know, I'm not. You know, I'm just able to allow myself to play. You know, it's not always good, it's not always great, but at least I'm giving myself a chance. I'm not kind of defeating myself in the mind. So I think that's been the difference, really.
And the format has changed in the weeks we've had in the Premier League, but back into the finals weekend, semi-final and finals, back to the longer format, if you like, something that I know suits you.
So what's it now?
First to 7 in the semis.
Is it? Best first to 7?
Sorry, first to 5 and then the finals first to 7.
Yeah, no, listen, it's all good, you know. Best of 5s, best of 3s, best of 7s, shootouts, 1 frames, 1 red. Who cares?
Ronnie, well played, congratulations. We'll see you at the finals again. Ronnie O'Sullivan, everyone.